looking at your sticks are right where you need to be. It just melts into your hands. I mean, it's pretty much the best. Why is that one the best? I mean, this is obviously the de facto industry standard.
I agree that the Xbox One is industry standard and is most comfortable for shooter games. But
for all 3D games.
Okay, but if you're trying to play a 2D game on an Xbox controller, it's
Who is playing a 2D game?
You said best overall. You said best overall.
Okay, fine, best overall.
Okay.
2D game, that's a small percentage of the market we're talking about here.
But
Plus, just use your stick, man. I don't need to get my D-pad in there.
But this is the best 2D controller, pretty much around, right? Like,
so you have this little niche part of the market right here.
And also, it's some people think it's good for 3D. Just like
wait, and some people are idiots too.
Just
so
like
that's kind of
the DualShock controller is the most popular.
Oh my gosh. And they only use DualShock because they have to, because it's PlayStation.
But
they would all be using this.
This also has better face buttons, just like the SNES. You can't just SNES's face buttons are definitely better than Xbox's. You can't.
These are fine. I don't understand what your face button issue is.
You said fine. These are good though.
They're not. I wouldn't make that. That's not like a deal breaker for me.
I'm just saying it has good triggers too.
These have incredible triggers. I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't say those have bad. I said these have incredible.
These are incredible too. What's wrong with them? You don't like these triggers?
You don't like the SNES controller?
I like the SNES controller, but we're living in a modern era, okay?
Okay, you play more 2D games than 3D games. Do you not?
No, I probably play more 3D games, easily.
You play Smash and Stardew Valley. Both of those are debatably 2D.
Smash is not 2D. I would not play Smash with the D-pad. That's just...
You said you prefer to play Smash with the D-pad. You have said that to my face.
No,
you have said that to my face.
No, it's kind of like a nice experience, but like I couldn't see myself like all the time.
Okay, but there's a why is this controller's just
you're looking at a very niche part of the market.
It's not even just for the 2D games. And by the way, that is not niche on Switch. On Switch, there are a lot of good 2D games that are played a lot, right? Think about
First of all, I just want to argue the D-pad on this is not that bad.
The placement makes it bad because
second of all, any game you can use your D-pad for, you can use your control stick for, and this stick feels great.
On Xbox One, you'll favor diagonals because the way it's placed. Your thumb has to go down so far. It's hard to have 90-degree input.
Just use the stick then, the control stick for your D-pad.
That doesn't sound like an ideal situation, does it? But
it sounds like a fine situation to me.
Ideal situation. This is the ideal controller.
I'm straining my thumb 100% of the time to play 3D games, just so the couple 2D games I have, I gotta go up here.
This is not a strain though, because I just heard it from you. I've never heard that myself. I've never heard that. Other people say that
it's a strain. This is inconvenient.
It's a preference.
No one rests their hands like this. This is not the way to rest your hands. You rest your hands up here.
Asymmetry is more.
You don't rest asymmetrically.
Really? Why? Yeah, you do, because your right thumb is on the lower stick, right? When you're playing a 3D game.
No, I rest my finger up here with my buttons.
What kind of 3D game?
Any kind of 3D game.
Or if you're playing a shooter, then you're not resting on buttons. You're resting on your right joystick.
I don't play shooters.
You said the best overall controller, so you have to incorporate every.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay,
shooters are the most popular games on Xbox.
You can rest it here because you need to be able to toggle quickly between these two.
Okay.
You're not toggling quickly between these two. You're leaving your finger here. This just feels more
but
natural.
You're mostly on the right stick, so why isn't that?
So why should I be straining if I'm mostly on the right stick? Why do I need to be straining?
You're not
sticking my thing in this uncomfortable position.
But it's not actually strained because you're just used to having it that way. Because your right thumb, you're used to having it down there, and it's not straining to have your thumb there on an Xbox controller. That's perfectly normal. I'm perfectly used to that, right? But you're used to it.
No,
it
doesn't feel. It doesn't feel.
You're telling me your left hand is designed differently so that it's more strenuous to move it like that than your right thumb?
No, it's strenuous to move either of my thumbs like this.
I've never heard.
I've
never heard anyone suggest that they put both the sticks up top. Right? That's
what do you
only
mean,
was done with the Wii.
No one puts. I don't want the stick up top. I want the stick where it is.
But then it's strenuous. If you have to.
Yeah, but you're just moving your thumb down here temporarily. You don't leave it down here.
When you're playing Halo and Call of Duty and Battlefield, the 3 most popular games on Xbox.
Look at this, but you're still moving it a lot. I don't think you understand. You don't rest your thumb. Even if you're doing the shooters, you need to be able to toggle quickly between these. So you're kind of more resting in the middle.
You don't need to toggle between them. Well, what are you using your face buttons for in a shooter?
I don't know what the hell.
Maybe jump, but you can just put it on bumper jumper. That's what a lot of people do.
Okay, well, we're not even talking about the Madden angle, okay? What about Madden and FIFA? You you know, those are button.
Those aren't even gamers. We can't even.
Okay, so you're literally going to totally overlook this entire sector of gaming.
Okay, well you can't play those on Switch anyway, and that's pretty much what we're talking about. Considering
and you can't play, and no one plays a good shooter on the Switch anyway. If you're going to do that, you're going to play it on Xbox.
So
we shouldn't be talking
about shooters on.
Yeah, but nobody plays them.
Okay,
who's like, guys,
let's move on to
whip the Switch out.
What about Rumble?
This has Rumble.
This has better Rumble.
This is just because this is a piece of crap old controller. It has nothing to do with this.
You said it first, not me.
This is just that's just because it's not the design of this controller. It's just because
every Xbox controller has the same haptic motor that's been in the 360. Right?
No, but this one's kind of broke. I can feel it.
Well, you're not talking about that specific model. You're talking about Xbox One in general. Xbox One. Then talk about this one if you prefer.
Well, it's fine. And
Even
with this mode, I don't have a problem with it.
That's my favorite controller to play with an Xbox, right? But I don't think it's the best overall controller in this group of things.
What I feel like you're just like getting these preference thing, or for some reason you want biggest gripe I have with that is that the stick is low like that. I don't like the stick being low.
But that's a preference. That doesn't make it objectively worse than the Xbox controller.
Yeah. So how could you say yours is objectively better?
Because the D-pad is so much better than that D-pad.
It's not that much better.
Oh, come on. You're telling me the SN30 Pro Plus D-pad is not better than the Xbox One?
I don't understand. I would sacrifice a little bit of D-pad quality to get my stick where it belongs.
That's just preference. Why would you sacrifice quality for preference, where here you could prefer this and get the quality too?
Because I don't give a darn about a little bit of quality.
Your argument is falling apart. I don't know what to say.
No, I don't care if my D-pad is necessary. I mean, we're talking about experience from the gaming perspective. So yeah, maybe a better quality, but if your buttons are all screwed up, you can have all those same buttons, but if you like mismatch them, you can say, well, I prefer it this way, but it doesn't mean it's better necessarily.
Well, maybe we should just agree to disagree.
I don't even understand what that's supposed to mean.
I mean, clearly you're not going to change your view, even if this.
You're not providing really any like.
Well, the viewers can decide.
Or what controllers are those again? Can you specify?
The 8-bit SN30 Pro Plus controller.
Okay.
Or the industry standard, extremely popular. Gamers use it all the time. This is the Xbox One. I think this is the S. Or I think it's the Xbox One Revision 2.
That was not very
It is from Nate Lewis.
That's true.
Okay, well, we have to end this episode by saying thank you to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video, and our producer, Abby, and our writers, Thomas and Phil.
Hashtag not sponsored. Don't demonetize us, Raid Shadow Legends. We love you.
And we like to include that while we disagreed on this topic, we do both agree that the best controller of all time is the UBS controller. Cut. We're done.